to honour a recipient of the Life Membership. These awards aren't handed out very often. Tonight I'm honoured to be the one that, on behalf of the MLAA, is going to be awarding this Life Membership to someone who's, in my completely biased opinion, one of the most deserving recipients for a long, long time. It's been tricky to work out how long Fraser Burns has been involved in this industry without tipping them off, because it's been longer than most of the people that I know. But from what I can work out, I think it's been about 40 years or so. And so yeah, he's been there for a while. He's been there since the beginning of the New Zealand branch. And during his time here, he's held almost every position that's possible to hold within the branch. He's been a tireless campaigner for locksmithing in general and for the MLAA in particular, going out of his way to help newcomers to our trade to get the skills they need to become fully qualified locksmiths. In preparing for this, I reached out to several of these locksmiths, a lot of the people within industry in New Zealand, and to get some feedback on Fraser's impact into their businesses, and I received nothing but praise and admiration for him and for the help that he's given them. And with several making the point completely unsolicited that he's often gone out of his way cheerfully to do that at his own expense in both time and resource. I've worked for and with Fraser for about 15 years at Goddard Security. I've travelled with him on many trips, and I can attest firsthand how much he's personally invested into this trade and to the men and women who work in it. His pay-it-forward attitude has spread, and now I see many of those who were helped by him, many of the people that are here tonight, doing the same thing for the current generation of new locksmiths. The respect I feel for Fraser made my decision to finally leave Goddard to pursue my own aspirations one of the hardest ones I've had to make in my career. Because of my history with Fraser, I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to shed some light into some of the different aspects of him. So Fraser the boss. My falling into this trade was a bit of a happy accident. I kind of knew the Burnses on a personal note for a while, and my brother-in-law worked with Goddard's. I won't bore you with the details, but in 1997, Goddard's had secured a contract to supply a access control system and cameras and all that to the newly built Hawke's Bay District Hospital. It was a pretty big contract, it was a pretty big deal at the time, and they needed some monkey to pull cables, and I'm a monkey, so I was employed to pull cables. It was pretty much on my first day, I think. It was definitely in the first 24, 48 hours anyway. They had just finished the completion of the emergency department. It was the first one, and the architect had come down. He was showing all the VIPs around their flash news sticky thing before it was going to be officially opened the next day. Fraser, Dean and I were pulling some cables across the suspended ceiling. Well, actually, Fraser was down below and I was pulling cables across the suspended ceiling. And we had to go right over the cross of this department, and clearly it wasn't my fault, but somehow I ended up falling through the suspended ceiling, landing in 12 feet, landing on my back on the concrete floor in dust and debris and everything, literally right at the second that the architect with all his big wigs turned around the corner and see me lying in this pool of dust. Now, I've worked with a lot of you guys, and I've been in your businesses, and I know for sure that my locksmithing career probably would have been gone pretty quickly after that. But no, Fraser was fine, and he never really brought up the bill, and I've never really asked. And it's been really good. He was a joy to work for, and gave me a lot of, he was always very patient with me, and gave me a lot of rope. Fraser the locksmith. Fraser the locksmith. He's still one of the most gifted locksmiths I know, and I think we would be unanimous in this room that I think he represents our country particularly well when it comes to locksmithing. We had a bunch of plate safes that came into our shop, and this was reasonably late in my time as well. We had a bunch of plate safes that came into our shop, and they all had Ross 102s on them. And most of them were locked, and that's not really my thing. I have bigger and more important things to do that have wheels and don't take like hours and hours to do, or real skill. And but you know, I was feeling generous, and I thought I would have a crack at opening these Ross 102s, and that's cool. So I worked on these 102s, and I'd opened most of them during the day. But there was one particular one that was really annoying, and it was kind of bugging me. And on this paper, I wrote down that I had been spending about half an hour on it. That's not even true. I'm even lying to myself. I spent a long time trying to pick this one particular lock, and it wouldn't work. And as you know, it was after 5, and you know, I was sort of going to call it quits for the day. And I thought I'd come back and try it again tomorrow. And as I happened to be packing up, Fraser came through, and I was just talking about it, and I said, "Oh yeah, look, all these are coming today, and I've opened most of them. There's one particular one that's just really nasty." And we chatted about it a bit, and I said, "You know, it's really hard and blah blah." That's cool. So I go back home, and I come back tomorrow, and I'm straight onto the safe, and I'm picking away, and after about half an hour, I think, I got it open, and what do I see inside but Fraser's business card? That's not the only time. You say that, but I was kind of cut. It kind of took a lot of the joy out of it. All right, now that's cool. And then Fraser the man. Over the years, as I say, I've worked with Fraser reasonably closely, and I've known him on a professional and personal level, and I've seen him help out more people than I can remember, both in and out of the trade. He and his wife Margaret, who couldn't be here today, in fact, he and his wife Margaret, who couldn't be here today, have freely given both time and resource to locksmiths in need, both over and over again. Not both over and over again, just over and over again. Whether it be loaning somebody money to get them out of a tight spot, or looking after their shop for a week so they can take a well-needed holiday. It's a testament to the man that within a week of me introducing him to the online community of locksmiths, within a week, he came to work one morning very late because he'd been up the night before helping some locksmith, complete stranger in Canada, open some safe that he was working on. And that's the way he is, out of his way to help somebody. So I believe that you will agree with me that Fraser Burns is very deserving and a little bit deserving, but mostly deserving. You should see what he has under the beard. It's crazy. All right, I think you'll agree with me that he is very deserving of this award. It's been a long time coming, Fraser, and I would like to invite you to come up now and receive the slide.
John Key. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know how this goes.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
I don't know whether anyone actually gave Fraser a hint, although Margaret does know about Fraser.
I know nothing.
So it's sneaked down a little bit. And I don't know, I reckon you could probably add a little bit of talk on your feet. And so if you don't want to, but I think you can. So I'd like to, well, I might say from my point of view, in my short time with the association, Fraser's been tremendous to me too. And particularly from the point of view of things like the MLAA test, and I know he does that selflessly also. So lift it up, mate. I'm going to try and get you on. So I'll put him on the spot, but Fraser's a good bloke and he's great for the industry, as Jeremy said. And what is under your beard? Thoughts.
Certainly I had no idea.
That's good.
I think it'd be fair to say that in my list of achievements, probably the achievement I would consider the highest result is my training in Germany.
Hey.
When he started, he was a shy fella. I can remember the first time I got him up on the floor to help with teaching. There was a meeting here in Wellington, and I was going down with the flu. So I twisted his arm hard and got him up. Because he told me up to that point, he absolutely refused to get up. And he did an excellent job, of course. So he got involved with more things. And then a bit later on, there was this, well, I couldn't possibly criticise anyone. You know, these are the people who've been in the trade for ages. Guess who sets the exams these days? But it's been a natural progress. But I've been able to be part of it. And I've also got the benefit. As he's grown, my abilities to teach have grown as well. He's taught me more about presentation, drawings, pictures, bringing the ideas to life. So, while it probably sounds a bit like a mutual back scratch, I do owe a lot to Jeremy in my own training. Someone said to me a while ago, you work awfully long hours. It's so hard. Do you really get paid enough to do all that? I looked at them puzzled. What do you mean? Well, put it this way. If money was no object, we know that's not true, but if it was no object, what would I like to do? Well, actually, I would like to go locksmithing. So in actual fact, we are some of the few people who actually get paid to have fun. Now, obviously, we don't think it's enough pay, that's the normal state, it's fair, but we actually pay to do what is fun. There's very, very few industries or jobs where you do that. You think of all the people you know. They earn a crust so they can go home and have fun doing whatever it is in the evening. But we're in that unique position, we can have it during the day. I remember one of my staff said to me some years ago, when he and his wife sat down and had breakfast, she would tell him what her day's diary was going to be, because she was an accountant for the firm she worked for. So at the beginning of the day, she knew every half hour what would be her task to get completed. When tea time came round, they would sit down and he would tell her what he'd done today, because now he knew. Because we have such a very variety of tasks. For me, there's safe opening, there's transponders, there's cars, there's concrete work, there's electrical wiring, there's alarms, there's access control, and on and on and on. And of course we even get to go cracking with all these things, the modern electronics. It's a whole new range. Crack into computers, crack into transponders, crack into safes. It just goes on and on. Just non-stop fun. It is stressful though. You know what? I don't need to go to the TAB. I do enough gambling every day.